Hello, dear colleagues. How are you doing? Hello, everybody. Hello, business analysis fans. Yeah, our fellows BAs, and you're welcome to the Global BA Community space. Today we are going to start a new initiative, BA Project Insider event series, and this is our new format event and I think that guys our main goal in that case is to share maximum level of our experience and practical things. Yep. So I think that piece of advices that we're going to share with you today, dear colleagues, will be useful for you, and you can just apply them in your practice on the fly. Yeah. So, Christina, how are you doing? Good
Doing
morning.
great.
Good day.
Good morning, Dmitry. Good morning,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you so much that you're joining for this session. And guys, with my great pleasure, I want to announce, today agenda. So first of all, we will review shortly information about the new format of our events, BA Project Insider. After that, we're going to have the 3 cases discussion, practical cases discussion. And for sure, at the end of our event, it's not a webinar, but event, we're going to have some short Q&A session. So please, you're welcome with your gadgets or tools, make some notes and provide to us questions that you want to have the answer on them. Yeah. So we go with our pleasure. We're going to provide all our experience and provide to you. We hope very useful tips and tricks. So let's go forward. And with my great pleasure, I want to introduce to you guys our senior business analyst, Kristina Shevchuk. Our colleague just has very cool experience as a business analyst, more than 8 years in various business domains. That is an absolutely awesome expertise. So I know that Christina has a lot of things that she wants to share with you, guys. And for sure, Christina is BA's new practices fan and professional development proactive driver. So I like to have conversation with such great people because they always can share something interesting, something new. So Christina, you're welcome. And
Thank you, Dmitry.
yeah, and me, maybe you guys, some of you knows me. I am chief business analyst, EPAM. Also, I have different kind of experience. I conducted different kind of roles in project activities, and I like to share my experience with you as well. And a couple of words before we're going to start. Actually, words about our new format. So 30 minutes, active discussion, 3 practical cases, 2 experts, main outcome, 1-pager helper. Please just monitor our Global BA Community page. All needed links we're going to share in chat and in our presentation materials. And please just follow us, and you will have this 1-pager helper about the efficient BA onboarding process. And we're going to start with the first case. I think that this is very interesting and very popular case at all. This case is about taking over from another BA. And as you can see, guys, you have conditions and challenges on one slide. So please take a look on them. And till you doing that activity, Christina, please, can you share some details with us about these things?
Sure. So indeed, this is one of the most often use cases for BA onboarding, that is taking over from another BA in the middle of development phase. In this use case, it was a big team. a long-term project that was already running for a long time, and I was a single BA on the project. So in this case, of course, there was a knowledge transfer period. But it was not very long. It was very short, actually 2 weeks for such a large project. It is not enough time probably. And since the project was ongoing, there was already a lot of information to be processed, a lot of documentation available, and also it was required to adapt very quickly to the project and to be able to perform, to answer the questions from the team and from the stakeholders, because the project was ongoing, and no one would accept any delay due to the replacement. And yeah, I think that everyone has made such cases. Everyone has been in this situation.
Yeah.
And what else can I say here? As a general advice, it is great that in such cases, usually extensive documentation is already available, and you can learn from it. You can follow it as an example, because usually in these cases, the projects are run by EPAM analysts, by the analysts from your company. So you can easily follow that example. Also, in such cases, you have to study not only the documentation but all available diagrams, flow charts, and designs that usually are also already created and available, at least in raw state in such cases. And one of the best things that allows you to quickly onboard in such cases is a hands-on experience with the product itself. Usually it is also at least partially developed already, so you can study the product hands-on from the very beginning, and it will make your life easier.
Yeah, absolutely. So very often, really, guys, very often we have such class of cases when we need to catch up all stuff on the fly, and we need to be ready just act immediately. Yeah. So, but based on that, Christina, please, what do you think about the existence of universal BA onboarding approach or process, something like that, maybe some kind of model? What do you think about?
Yeah, I would say that there is no universal recipe for all cases, because each and every case is unique and requires special approach, special attitude usually. But if we try to structure the possible use cases, I would say that there are two types of project onboarding cases: onboarding to an ongoing project, as we have in our first case example, and onboarding to a new project, because these two types usually have completely different challenges and require a bit different steps to be taken in the first place.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can agree with that. And yeah. And one more question about this specific case. Please share the piece of your advice for our younger colleagues, especially maybe not only younger colleagues, yeah. But what about the case when you have a lot of product requirements in such a situation, and you need to manage the huge amount of documentation? Maybe you can share your vision how you should do that in efficient manner.
Yeah, that is a good question indeed. In such cases, that is one of the biggest challenges that you face when you start your onboarding. So, what tips can I think of here? First of all, it is good that there is no necessity to search yourself in the documentation for the context of the project, for the goals, for the agreed scope, and etc. Because all that can be shared by the BA colleague from whom you're
Mhm.
taking over,
Yeah.
and it's better not to spend time yourself on it. It's better to understand it from the knowledge transfer sessions. At the same time, it is important to remember that no knowledge transfer session would cover all the small details of the requirements. So still, in order to have a full picture, you have to study the details yourself and probably ask the right questions afterwards. Also, when you are in these knowledge transfer sessions and you're
Mhm.
being shared with this information about the goals and the context, it is good to verify it against the agreed project documents where the scope is documented, just to be sure that everyone is on the same page.
Yeah. Awesome.
Um,
And I think that all such stuff you mentioned before is about the communication excellence. Yep. And I have the next question for about this case for you. Actually, how you can understand generally that you have enough or optimal level of stakeholders communication in that case.
um, yeah, communication is another challenge that we usually face. It doesn't matter in the new project
Absolutely.
or in an ongoing one. And uh, in order to understand that you have the enough level, you would probably take some time. I would start from the point what you have to do to ensure this good level of communication. You firstly need to define the contact metrics, at least for yourself, at least an informal one, and to
Mhm.
understand uh, whom to address your questions, your concerns, and to whom to escalate in case of something.
So
Um,
talk, and talk. Yeah, am I right?
yeah, absolutely. That is probably the best recipe.
Yeah, we
This
have
one is
no
universal.
Yeah, we have no choice here. It's about all our work, all our BA's work, and overall, again, the basis, guys, as you can see in the practice, again, the common basis for our interaction is our communication process. So thank you so much for such great first case, and I think that our guys will make some additional questions for you and for me till the end of our event. And we need to switch because we have the format structure. We need to switch to the next case. And let me share the case number 2 about the taking over from another BA in the end of the discovery phase. Wow, that is awesome case because a lot of things we need to catch up from our BA colleagues at the end of discovery phase if you are going to do the BA work in the project. Yep, and you need to play this role from the scratch, and you need to be aware what should be done. Yeah, so please, can you share some details here?
Yeah, definitely. This use case is a very specific one because in addition to the fact that it was taken over in the discovery phase, in this case there was an extensive knowledge transfer session conducted, and the knowledge transfer period was enough. But in the end of this knowledge transfer, I felt that lots of my high-level questions defining further steps for the project were left unanswered, while a lot of
Mhm.
low-level requirements were being already clarified. And that is why it felt that something on a high level was missing. And at the same time, the discovery phase was almost finished, and everything should have been already signed at that moment. So it was quite a challenging situation. And actually, in this case, due to the fact that I felt that something is missing, that not everything is covered, I of course, started my own investigation. I involved our solution architects in the knowledge transfer sessions and in all possible meetings. I formulated as soon as possible the questions and the risks that I felt were important at that stage, and we escalated these questions and risks to the project manager and to the client management. In the end, we had to slightly extend the discovery phase to clarify all of these questions, but it was very important that we did it because indeed there were some things that needed to be covered additionally. And I would say that the main lesson from this case is that if something is missing, if the crucial requirements are considered agree, but they are not documented properly, then it either needs to be documented if in fact it is already solved, or it might be a red flag that some additional clarifications are needed, and it is important to raise concerns in such cases.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is a great question for you in such class of case will be the next that it will be useful definitely for our audience. And I'm thinking about, but can we potentially have the case when the client is not so high educated in discovery work, in BA work at all, and we need to educate the client generally. So I don't think so that this is a rare case. I think that it's a popular case for all of us. And in that class of situation, yep. What do you think about the tips and tricks how we can manage that?
Well, I would start from the role of the BA. Speaking about this question, we have to work as a bridge between the development team and the client stakeholders, and that is from where we have to take this issue. So we need to educate the stakeholders and explain our work to them. We need to show them that we are here to understand their needs and to translate them for the development team. So we need to be open for the dialogue. We need to show that we understand and take into account all their requirements and demands, even if sometimes they sound complicated, too complicated, and we just need to explain the feasibility or non-feasibility of something. We always need to do it, not to just left something unanswered. We have to be always open to their questions, concerns, and attentive to their comments. We have to demonstrate the results of our work as soon as we are able to do it. So we have to share the documentation we are creating with them, or it can be stories that we are creating. We have to explain them the dependencies, the risks that we see. So share all our results of work, all our artifacts that we have. And we have to explain to them that while we are discussing all these things with them, we let the developers focus on development in order for them to understand better our role in case they really need this explanation. And what else? It is also important to create the extensive and detailed documentation in order for them to be able to always address their questions, not only to us, but to this documentation as well, to find everything and to understand what is actually going on. I would say that is probably, these are probably the most important steps to take.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this broad explanation. But again, I'm thinking about right now, I'm thinking about the huge load, on the business analyst in such class of case. And by the way, and any kind of BA can faced with some kind of challenge, main challenge, how manage the expectations of stakeholders, of your team in that situation. So what do you think about the expectation management practice in our BA's work, and maybe two or three piece of advices just for our audience?
Yeah, this question is really connected to the previous one we had. So, first of all, you have to ensure that you have good communication level and relationship with the client, and they understand your role. In order to manage their expectations, the first and the most important thing is to identify the stakeholders,
Mhm.
because even though you might have lots of contacts, it is still important to understand who is actually making decisions, who is approving the solutions,
Absolutely.
and who is acting just as a subject matter expert who might provide you advice but does not confirm or provide actual requirements.
Absolutely.
Um, then you have to manage the stakeholders differently based on their role, based on the
Mhm.
role you have defined in these contract metrics.
Mhm.
Then what is also important, you have to always keep stakeholders in the loop. You have to keep them at least informed or very involved and engaged in the process of the requirements clarifications. You have to always share with them the evidence and the research you have done in order to build trust and in order for them to understand better our solutions and the
Yeah.
decisions that are taken by the team. Um,
I yeah, I cannot I just cannot disagree with you, because it's true. And actually the common basis, common vision between you as business analyst and stakeholders should based on pretty clear things. And the main question of business analyst, what should be done? Yeah, the second one, for what we're going to do this or that in business perspective. So thank you so much about such broad answer. And we go into the next case number 3. So new project, and again discovery phase. Yep. So you just deep dive into discovery as a business analyst. You need to know everything about the client business. You need to do a lot of stuff in organizational area, especially to set up the internal work inside the discovery team, and after that project team, etc. So Christina, stage is yours. Please, some details.
Sure. Thank you, Dmitry. So this is also one of the most often use cases when you're joining just in the beginning of the project, and you have to conduct firstly the discovery phase and then all the normal development and further phases. And in this case, of course, there is usually very little or no documentation available because the project is being started. In most in a lot of cases, even the scope is not yet completely clarified. So all such things need to be defined. The team is usually new. The client stakeholders and subject matter experts might not have clear vision of the product and clear understanding of the scope as well. The contact matrix is usually undefined, and you have to start working on all of this at the same time. What's usually good in such
Mhm.
cases is that BAs can learn together with the whole team and with the client stakeholders as well. So that is
Mhm.
actually nice because it is the same for everyone and you're learning all together, unlike from the first two use cases that we have discussed today. And
Yeah. But what are the main accents? Maybe you can underline some of them. Yeah.
um, Sure. In such cases, you should usually start from the collecting as much information as possible from all available sources. Usually, it is possible to find some mine of information, some person who is
Mhm.
really experienced in the sphere of the project you are working on. It might be, I don't know, an architect, someone who worked on a similar project, a project manager. It depends, but usually you have such a person who can still share information with you. But it is also important not to overload such mines of information with all the questions arising and trying
Mhm.
to still find every all information that is possible to find in our and other sources except for asking the questions. Um, Also, it is important to start documenting everything from the beginning, even though in the beginning it might be complicated, but the format and the form of these documents might be updated later. You have to at least start.
Yeah, so
Um,
you have a lot of things on your plate, things like, yep, as a business analyst. But I know that our younger colleagues faced very often with their fears. Yep, especially at the beginning of the project and on this stage. And I think that as a senior business analyst, you can provide some tips and tricks or piece of advice about how to manage their fears generally.
um, yeah, probably indeed everyone has faced such a situation, and especially at the beginning of each project,
Mhm.
you always have such a feeling. Um, my biggest example would be that when you are joining a new project, especially if it is not a new project but an
Mhm.
already running one, when you are joining in the middle of something, at the beginning it always feels that you don't meet expectations because you are
Mhm.
asked a lot of questions and
Yeah.
you don't know the answers to them yet, and you're expected to perform to provide them as a BA. And these might be questions from stakeholders, from the team, and yeah, the general advice here would be it is okay and it will pass, and you just have to keep going to work on your understanding on your onboarding on the project, and as soon as you gain some experience, it would be already easier. And of course, everyone is aware that you are you're a new person and you need this onboarding period, so that is nothing new. You just have to be very proactive to keep
Yeah.
going, and it will work.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree again. But yep. Every BA could make or can make some kind of mistakes. Yep. And everyone need to polish and need to update his work abilities, his maturity level, etc., during during the whole BA life. Yeah, and in that case, especially when you're going to start a lot of things. When you did a lot of things to set up the business analysis approach and other stuff in your project, in that case, we very often can see some kind of our gaps in our work. And I have one question more for you: how you can manage the gaps in your work, uh, just honestly? Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it depends on on the gap itself, like
Mhm.
how you found this gap. Is it yourself who found it, or your team, or is it someone from client side who has found this gap? And taken from there, the approach to solving this case would be probably different. So in case it can be solved
Mhm.
like in a regular manner, in case you still are able to go to your stakeholders and to inform them that here we have a gap and we need to solve it. Here are the
Yeah.
options. Here are our suggestions. Then it's better to do so as soon as possible. In case for some reason that is no longer possible because either you know that it would cause too much frustration or some other issues, then of course you need to escalate it to your management, to the project management, and to take a mutual decision that would be approved by management. But probably that is in case of some serious gap that might affect the whole delivery of the project. In case the gap was found by the client stakeholders, then it is a bit more complicated. But of course, you have to show that you're open for discussion, that you understand and acknowledge this fact, and try to discuss it with them and try to solve it. Again, it is important not to just discuss the gap itself, but to suggest solutions.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for such interesting answers. Yep, our 30 minutes is end, and that was great discussion, rapid discussion for sure, guys. This is the main sense of our format, to share the greatest BA practice, greatest BA experience in very rapid, in very concentrate way, with you, or manner with you guys. And thank you so much, Christina, for such interesting and fulfilled discussion. And I think that we have the right time to share with you, dear colleagues, our BA efficient onboarding checklist from Business Analysis Community. And as you can see, guys, on your screen, we prepared for you such interesting one-pager helper that will be placed, and you can just download. You will download. We hope, yep, and you can download this one-pager helper from our BA community page, Global BA Community page in LinkedIn, and I think not only. And yes, let's go through that. And Christina, your suggestions, your conclusions. Are we good with this visualization of experience?
Yeah, I think this checklist is actually very extensive. It provides everything you need to start onboarding on a project or to start a project. So I believe it will be very helpful. Thank you, Dmitro.
Thank you so much. And guys, if you have any kind of questions, please, you're welcome, maybe in chat. If yes, please provide them. If no, or your questions will be appeared just a little bit later, you're welcome to ask this question in the comments, and we're going to provide to you some answers on that. So let me check the chat in our YouTube channel. Do we have any kind of comments or questions? Let me see. Seems like no. Right now, we hope that everything is clear for you guys. And let me check one more time. No. We have no questions. So we hope, and we can suggest that our speech was useful for you and applicable in your practice. And thank you so much. See you next time. And definitely we're going to prepare with Christina next topic for you guys. Please check the announcements on the Global BA Community page on our VR community portal. And see you next time. Thank you so much. Have a great weekend.